Hello, trading is closed on 16th of May 2019. We'll go over our calls. Yesterday I said that the failure to take out these highs was negative. I said unless we gapped up and took these highs out promptly, lower prices should print. I also said that even though futures were down to about 28.43, taking out these highs was possible, and of course that's what happened. So according to the rules, this number gets crossed off the list. Since it's optional of this character, we're not going to keep track of it. These numbers should still print at some time. Could be tomorrow, it could be 3 years from now. There's no requirement to print anytime soon. This was the pattern with the early low. Tomorrow's pattern has the early high. The vast majority of times it's a rally day. Most of the time there's an early high and a late high, and particularly on a Friday it tends to rally into the close. The catch, of course, is if it fails, it drops in a straight line. During the day, MEJT here said ultimately lower prices would print, but they wouldn't stick and they'd retrace, which they did. Guessing is not really my thing, but I'm going to guess that this week's low has a good chance to hold. This is Tom DeMark's stuff. His sell signals haven't worked too well, but his TDST lines, which show support/resistance, have still worked. And here's the last TDST line. You'll see how we stopped right at a support level. Support goes through a bar past the line, but it doesn't really have to. So we stopped. We went in a straight line to support and reversed strongly, suggesting support's going to hold. This high is actually higher than this one, I believe. It's 28.92.15, which is higher. So going over this high is what you need to suggest support's going to hold, although closing over it would have been more convincing. There's any number of ways to count this. This is one which has a decline ending here. But whether it's the right count or not, this decline is overlapping, and that tends to be corrective. And this rally is non-overlapping and impulsive. And even though we might stall here a little bit because of this ratio, it suggests that this is the direction the market's going to be headed. Overlaps like this tend to retrace completely. I also still have this futures target I want to see hit, and we have a target from the Fed whipsaw. We dropped something like over 150 points from the point of the Fed announcement. That means we have to go to make it work. More than that, beyond it, should take us over 3,100. If it works, it isn't always going to work. There's many ways to look at this. You can look at this as a wall. Here's your hole in the wall gap. These tend to fill relatively promptly. We went just over the top of the wall. That's resistance. If you break through it tomorrow, it's not breaking through resistance. It might hold the support. But usually you wait a few days, and if you break through this, which hasn't happened yet, but if you wait a few days and break through, it tends to break through in grand style, and it really could take us to 3,100 if that should happen. It hasn't happened yet. So we have an impulsive move up. We have a pattern which is negative and should lead to lower prices unless we gap and take this high out promptly. That wouldn't surprise me, but even if it doesn't happen, trading lower doesn't require us to close lower. Tomorrow's pattern is one which usually is a rally day. Now, if we drop like a stone, I'm going to have to reassess things. But my guess, and I'm going to underline the word guess, is that this low we hit this week is going to hold. One of the other reasons is that typically the biggest point move of a decline comes on the last day of the decline. The same thing holds true for market rallies. Typically, when you have a huge point move in one direction, and you've been moving in that direction for a long time, and that's your largest point move, typically that's the end of the move. And so far, it certainly looks as if that's happened because you've overtaken the leg which led to that big drop. So, early high tomorrow doesn't mean you won't gap down first. Hoping to see a rally day if we take this high out early by gapping over it. If that happens, that's going to be a support level. And that's today's call.